co-host is, he was forced to work today out of town, but I got my spiritual nephew here. We're not turned on, y'all, so we may have to.
Oh, the box down.
We may have to stop it because we're live right now, you guys. So we may have to stop it for a minute. Just bear with us, y'all. Bear with us.
I'm on.
You got them plugged in now? Can you hear us now? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2. Everybody good?
Okay.
All right. So again, Happy New Year's to everybody. We're about to go live. So y'all good? We're ready. Yeah. Well. I'm so happy to be here. Welcome to Truth Forum, a forum to discuss truth in a friendly surrounding like we do at home at the kitchen table. I do have the rights to perform the songs and the notes and the lyrics being licensed by BMI. I'm your host, Dr. Smith. I will lead compelling, relatable, and honest conversations. My guests this year will be co-hosts and also individuals who have issues and things they want to share to the public, and just community leaders and professionals. And we're going to talk about stories that will touch and inspire you. Our discussion will center around the real stories of personal struggles and amazing triumphant, even compelling topics in the news. Today, we got a lot to talk about. I'm just happy today to be here. Also, we'll continue to say that our vision is to catalyze and energize and to bring people together. That's always our ultimate goal, to bring everybody together like they did in Africa. They sit down and they share stories. It is storytelling time here at the kitchen table. Today I have my guest. My co-host Doug Jones is unavailable, but I have spiritual nephew, man of God, great politician, great community person. We have a good time. None other than the pastor, Terrence Todd. Man, how you doing today, man?
Doing good, Bishop.
This off. Good.
Thank you so much, man.
I am happy that you're here.
Me too.
We are going to have a plethora of topics today, and we're going to just really, kind of go there. Understand, y'all, that we are intelligent people. Mm-hmm. And as intelligent people, we should be able to have intelligent discussions. And just because we don't always agree, it doesn't mean you can't be friends.
That's right.
So I first thing I want to say, Dr. Todd, that you are aware that there's been a conversation that you and I was a part of the Donald Trump rally.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. When we went together.
Oh, yeah.
And it was brought up in the barbershop that I can't believe you were there. Well, my side of the story is irrelevant. But let me give you an opportunity to, because I continue to endorse and support what you do. I want to first let everybody know that 1926, the second week of February, it was once called Negro History. And then those who know, it was Dr. Carter G. Woodson. But I want to say something to you all about what Carter G. Woodson said. He noted that no people, Todd, can go forward when the majority of those who should know better have chosen to go backwards. And it was a Republican president named Gerald Ford who officially recognized Black History Month in 1976. So I just want to kind of give that. Also, I want the record to reflect, even though you've been hearing about this word in the media, quid pro quo, we are a charter organization over a year ago. Before you heard the word, we already have an organization called quid pro quo, and it means for something, or a more familiar level, it means you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Basically, those who invest their time and their energy and resources in support of political issues, candidates or political parties expect to be compensated in a manner that is equal to their investment. So I'm a personal believer in quid pro quo. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I'm not an independent. I'm a person who votes for the person. And I think anyone that decides to vote for a person, that's their prerogative. Mm-hmm. And so again, I have my nephew here, one of the spiritual great men of God. He has made it clear that he is a Republican. And again, I'd like for you to just share to the audience, not too long because we're going to cover some stuff that's going on currently, but just give that one reason why just because you may have the color of my skin, you also have a right based upon my philosophy to be whatever you want to be.
True, I agree. And Bishop, I really appreciate that because even going back to what you said earlier about the rally, people can't forget that I'm vice chair of the Michigan Republican Party. I'm vice chair of the Michigan Republican Party. So when I get a call to be a part of an event, a historical event or any type of an event, I show up as the vice chair. Why? Because I'm representing the people that I serve. Absolutely. Ultimately. You know what I mean? And so people got to ask themselves, how many other folks from Orchard Park get that opportunity? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? How many other people from Orchard Park get an opportunity to be on a conference call with the President of the United States, regardless of whoever it is? How many other people from Orchard Park get an opportunity to meet the Vice President twice in a private meeting, and then also greeting him and his wife coming off the plane when they landed here in Battle Creek? How many other people from Orchard Park, which I'm from, get the opportunity to be acknowledged or to be contacted by the White House? I mean, that's unheard of. It's not too often that happens. So people got to understand that you simply have to move forward with what you believe God has called you to do, period. And you owe no one else an explanation. And that's just my take on that. You don't owe anybody an explanation as far as like you charting your own path that you believe that God has you on. You know what I mean? You can sit down and explain all you want to, but then my flip back is this: where were you when I got laid off from Battle Creek Public Schools? Did nobody feed my family? You know what I mean? Did nobody storm down to a school board meeting, hooting and hollering at the school board or the superintendent, wondering what in the world is going on? Why are you getting rid of so many black men? You know what I mean? When my wife and my family and I were in a head-on collision, guess who fed us? It was people. There were people who didn't look like me that fed us for 2 weeks. Now imagine that. You got people who don't look like you show up to your house for 2 straight weeks feeding you and your wife and your daughters. So that's why I don't buy into some of this other stuff. And if they want to buy into that's cool. But keep in mind, you'll be amazed at who God has really called to really support you. And sometimes it's those who simply don't look like you. Black, white, brown, indifferent, whatever. And so you got to keep an open mind to that.
Now let the record reflect that because my co-host Deacon Jones had to work again. He usually is the one that watched the Facebook live stream. So somehow I believe my cousin Yvonne, and I did not acknowledge her, or Chanel, I did not acknowledge her, or even all of my production team, Tiffany and Ronnie. I forgot to acknowledge you all, and Carl, who's not here today, and also Mike. So I acknowledge all of you all, and thank you for your faithfulness and all that you've done to make this show successful. However, if people do respond, I believe they have the Facebook Live. If you do have some questions or something, we're going to give you a chance to just chime in if needed. But again, I will continue to endorse Pastor Terrence Todd. I think he is right on. So let's continue on, and we're going to talk about a whole lot of things. Our time is short, so we want to try to hit some things. And some things we say is going to ruffle your feathers, but you know,
hey,
that's life, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, I offend you, you offend me. That's just the way life goes, but we be all right.
I still love you.
We have to, first of all, stop feeding into negative energy.
True.
That foolishness about Vanessa Bryant passed away, was killed, committed suicide. Why do you continue to do that kind of stuff? If it's fake news, why would you even share that? See, that's the stuff we got to stop doing.
True.
So I want to kind of break that. Stop it. Stop it. We have to raise above those kind of behavior. Well, this is the conversation where you are going to be my co-host.
Okay.
And I know some of your Republican side is going to have to kick in. And I get that, but also I want you to try to be as biased as possible, non-biased, without hurting yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Bloomberg is an individual that is starting to rise up on the Democratic side. People may not know this before, but he at one time was Republican too. But he was, as a NYPD, he was a part of the stop and the frisk.
Yeah.
He was mostly the brown and the blacks. Many was reported innocent. They had strip searched. Some was punched, kicked, slammed, beaten, groped, all the kind of crazy stuff. Now, when I make those statements, that's not to say I'm not going to support him. What I want everybody to understand is we all have a past, and we all have made votes. And we had legislation that have always, may not always agree with you. You know, we got a lot of folks that's upset with Joe Biden. They say he was a part of this whole 94 crime bill. Now, all this is good for Terrence Todd because he's a Republican right now, but I'm just going to throw this out. And a lot of folks is having an issue with Joe, and I believe it was Charlemagne. He called himself Charlemagne the God, I guess the little G-O-D, hopefully. And he's concerned, why are we supporting this Joe Biden guy or this other fella that we just mentioned, Bloomberg. But as men from Orchard Park,
yes, sir,
it doesn't matter what a white man or a black man pass. If I ain't committing the crime, it don't affect me.
True.
And see, a lot of folks, we gotta get that.
That's simple. Yeah.
We gotta get that.
It's
Okay,
true,
okay. If Bloomberg created legislation that put every drug dealer in jail, I know this don't sound right. I know you don't want to hear it, but quit selling drugs.
That's simple, Bishop. That's simple, man.
See,
That
and
simple,
that's
man?
not being conservative.
That's right.
That's not being liberal.
Yeah.
Just stop selling drugs.
Just stop selling drugs.
Say, well,
Absolutely.
well, Bishop, I need to eat. I don't have no money. I don't do it.
True.
See, we got to get to the point to say, don't dislike somebody because they passed legislation because that put your cousin and your uncle and your nephew locked up in prison.
Yeah.
What about when I was trying to tell you, stop playing the game in the streets, and you didn't listen?
That's right. That's right.
See, before we get into the political, Republicans, Democrats, we got to be intelligent and vote for people who we feel is closer to our value system. Now, does that mean I'm going to support Joe Biden? I'm not saying that. Does that mean I'm going to support Bloomberg? I'm not saying that neither. But I'm sharing that a lot of people are now trying to say, nah, you shouldn't support him because of the things he's done. Now we're going to bring a Republicans thing side. The CPAC chairman, anonymously, and I'm for sure you heard about this, warned Mitt Romney that he should be afraid of his physical safety after he broke rank to convict Trump. Now, whether that's true or false, now I'm coming to you as like a reporter. Doc, the president seemed like he a gangster. I mean, Donald Trump is like a gangster, man. He getting rid of folks, man. What's your when you hear that kind of stuff? what you think as a black man, as an officer in the Republican Party, when someone comes to you and say, but your president is a gangster, how you respond to that?
I would say that there are many over the past that have been gangsters. Bill Clinton's a gangster, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Again, he was the big supporter of the crime bill that locked up a whole bunch of folks. And then what did he do? When his wife was running, he saw it politically expedient to come out and apologize. Hillary Clinton, same thing. When she went out and talked to Charlemagne the God, so to speak, on the Breakfast Club, she pandered about having hot sauce in her purse. And he said, oh, sounds like you're pandering to black people. And she said, ha, 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 is it working? You know what I mean? See, it's stuff like that. She called black children or black youth super predators with no conscience, and that they need to be brought to heel, H-E-E-L. You know what I mean? So to me, those are gangster kinds of things as well. So my point is that they can't call one and not the other. You know what I mean? And so that's my take on it, Bishop. And really, to be honest with you, one of the messages that I always try to tell people, especially our people right now, because I think there's an educational divide in our country, and that's just black, white, whatever. And the reason why I say that is because we have to really look at policy versus personality. And so do I always agree with the president's tweets and behavior? Absolutely not. I don't always agree with my family. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with former students I had. But I like the policy. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
that's being educated.
That's being educated, absolutely.
The policy
is what sticks.
Is what sticks
yes, sir.
And can change the culture or the environment in which we live.
That's right.
But now we're going to get to some other stuff, so that's why I'm just glad to have you here. So it is easier. Y'all need to switch the camera. I'm talking to y'all, still got ties showing. I mean, I know he look better than me, but man, I'm talking and they showing your face. Listen, it's easier to build a strong children than to repair broken men.
Absolutely.
That was by Frederick Douglass.
Yes, sir.
And that's where we are now, Doc. We are at a place now that there's a lot of broken people, and it's going to take God to deal with, but we can work with the children.
Period.
Let's talk about the, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, we had the speech by the president, and there were a lot of people that was complaining about Pelosi not standing or clapping for the things that she doesn't like because, you know, she'll be supporting the president. As a brother from Orchard Park.
Yes, sir.
But we do realize there were times when President Barack Obama was president.
That's right. That's right.
And the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, they all do.
They all do that.
Yeah, they do.
So again, let's go back to policies.
That's right.
See,
that's right.
we spend too much time on personality.
I agree, man.
Now, because we both preachers and we want to just be real.
That's right.
You know, let's separate the saved and unsaved. Let's deal with policy.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't saved, you can't do anything. If it wasn't for the Holy Ghost,
that's right.
I would have killed somebody by now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shot him right in their forehead.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Thank God for Jesus.
Thank God for Jesus. I mean, we've all been there, right?
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
So we got to quit getting upset with people's personality.
Right, man.
Should it be under control? Yes.
Right.
The Bible says we should bring our bodies under subjection.
That's right.
We should learn how to behave. That's all true. But do not like a person or even give a person a chance because you don't like their behavior.
Yeah, I agree, Bishop. Yeah, and I want to speak to that too because, again, getting back to policy, see, I sit on the foundation board for Norfolk State University. This guy from Orchard Park, you know?
Yes.
I sit on their foundation board. Yes, sir. So how am I against the president's policy that now permanently funds HBCUs?
Yeah.
How am I against that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How am I against prison reform that released thousands of federal inmates and over 90% of them were black? How can I be against that?
Yeah.
How can I be against religious freedom? Any legislation or policy that's for religious freedom, like they just got through talking about bringing prayer back into school. How can I be against that? Because, and then how can I even allow myself, if I'm a believer, how can I even allow myself to then, because of what I'm seeing, be so against this guy because of his behavior that I missed the policy. What about the opportunity zones, which is a reinvestment back into?
So Todd,
yeah.
Let me ask you this, because I know the answer to that. Why is it, and this show is for everybody, but why is it that black people tend to be driven by personalities?
I think, Bishop, it's a learned thing. I think we've been conditioned over time. I believe that there are those that are out there who have studied us for years. They know that we're passionate. They know that we're very emotional. And so politics is usually tied up in emotion. So if I can say that, well, if I can say as many times as I want that somebody's so racist, then that's just what I believe. Regardless if I have any proof or not, regardless of whatever, and it could be some good policy that's to my advantage, but because these individuals say that, then I immediately turn the individual off because I now believe what they said, that they're racist. And so I think that we get caught up in personalities because we don't want to do the digging. Let's dig down deep and find out, well, let me check on this policy. We recently got a postcard from one of the state legislators here, and said that they co-sponsored 300 bills. But nobody takes the time to really research to find out, well, how many of those 300 bills have anything to do with us or with our district? You know, anybody can step into an office, because, I used to work there. Anybody can step into an office and say, hey, my rep would love for your boss to sign this bill or whatever, or co-sponsor this bill, and they can just sign their name on it or whatever. But out of 300 bills you co-sponsored, but we don't know how many of them actually even impact our district. So then when you do the digging, you find out, well, how many bill proposals does this individual have, and how many actually became law? When you find out, it was 0. So my point is that if we don't do the digging, if we don't educate ourselves,
do the homework.
If we don't do the homework, man, then we'll miss it, and then we'll look at it on the surface based on what somebody put in the mail to us. Okay. Say, oh, they're really doing a great job. Oh, no. You got to dig deeper.
Let's continue on, because I want to hit a lot of different things, and our time is moving really, really fast already. Okay. So, back to our emotions.
Sir.
I watched the State of the Union.
Yeah.
And I saw, when I said and watch it, I'm looking at the things that's not being said. And I'm paying attention. So Donald Trump is he's entertaining. He's good at what he does.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
That's true.
So, but then he gives my man Rush Limbaugh, and I just want y'all to know I'm gonna become the Black Rush Limbaugh. I'm gonna say the stuff that y'all really want to be said.
Yeah.
I may not be on his page, but I'm gonna say things that y'all thinking, because at the end of the day, if we don't address certain things, we're just not going to get anywhere. We do a lot of secretly talking behind folks' back and not addressing it in your face. But Russ, he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Hey, that's president choice. I don't care about that. Right. You become president, you may give it to my brother or to me. So I ain't mad. And then somebody gonna be mad at you.
Absolutely.
The problem with that was a lot of us were so emotional because you had the 100-year-old Tuskegee Airman who was there at the same time. Yeah. And there was like, well, dog, why didn't he get it? Well, you know why he didn't get it? Because he's not in the same circle.
True.
And if you want to get certain stuff, you got to get in the same circle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And any personal.
Look,
let me say this real quick.
That's right.
Doc,
That's true.
there is, Ann Norlander is a Republican. I consider her to be a friend of mine. Her and I won 1990. We won, 30 years ago. I was Calhoun County Commissioner. She was the clerk. Well, she resigned.
Okay, yeah.
And to fill the term versus having an election in November, they had what you call a panel. And they picked 4 judges, and the 4 judges had to interview. Now, someone called me and said, well, why don't you put your name in the list? So I went ahead and put my name down.
Yeah.
I knew I wouldn't get called.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't personal.
Yeah.
I'm not in that circle.
Gotcha.
You can't get mad at anybody.
That's right.
And they end up retaining the lady who was actively assisting, or the deputy clerk, Hinckley.
Oh, Hinckley.
Yeah, and the truth is, I'll probably support her.
Yeah.
See, we got to understand it ain't personal.
Right.
So, we as blacks, we got to build something. And if we build something, then the other people will respect. But the people that's trying to build something, you tear down.
Yes, sir.
You won't even get behind them.
Right.
And you allow personalities to destroy a vision.
That's true.
See, look at the Republican Party. Donald Trump has done some things that folks upset, but guess what? He's still in office. He's still winning, and he probably going to win the election.
He going to win the election.
Okay?
Absolutely.
He say he going to win it. I say he probably going to win it.
He going to win it.
But then we here, you right here in the city of Battle Creek, you fight every individual, and we wonder why we can't win anything.
That's right. That's right.
And I go back to that, ask you that question, Ty. What is it about us? Why do we allow one group to fight, act up, but they stay together, but when we fight, we fall apart?
That's right. Bishop, I'll tell you this. A good friend of mine and yours, and I'm not going to say their names, but they were at an event out of state, and they were there. There was multiple people, but it was asked to some Asian folk and some Hispanic folk about their condition and why, quote unquote, racism has not been an issue for them, or why they think it had been an issue. And you know what their response was?
What's that?
They said this. They said, because we're about being educated and building our own businesses.
Yep.
You will not see them rallying for anything, marching for anything, hooting and hollering about anything. They go about their business. They make sure their kids are educated, and they make sure that they got their own businesses.
Very true.
And they stay close together as a group.
As a group.
As a group.
As a group.
Absolutely.
So, man, I don't have any water. My water's ran out. Did you drink your water yet?
Yeah, I drank mine.
Oh, yeah, I'm about ready to ask for yours, but we'll keep it moving. Listen. So Todd from OP Orchard Park.
Yes, sir.
The truth is, white people have committed some of the worst crimes in history, and somehow have convinced the world that black people are a threat. This is how we fix that problem. I'm not a threat. Todd's not a threat, and you're not a threat. Now keep it moving. Why let those kind of behavior cause you to become a threat?
That's right. Yeah.
If someone is afraid to be in an elevator with you, just let them get out there. But why don't you get busy handling your business? Now, let's talk about let's talk about handling some business. You have some celebrities that have made the billionaire mark.
That's right.
They're nowhere close to the big boys, but we got the Oprahs but let's talk about what Michael Jordan did. And I want to use Michael Jordan because I think what Michael Jordan did was phenomenal. Michael Jordan made $90 million playing basketball. $90 million.
$90 million. That's right.
But his partnerships was worth $1 billion.
Yes, sir.
Partnership like Nike, Gatorade.
Yeah. Hey.
You know, owner stake.
Yes, sir.
See, while we're fighting, everybody else becoming owners.
Yes, come on. That's it.
See.
That's right.
And so since it's Black History Month,
yes, sir,
let's talk about what Mike did right.
That's right.
Okay? Mike this, Mike that. Look what Mike did. And then he became owner into the Hornets, right?
Hornets,
so
that's right.
He became a millionaire through his labor.
That's right.
But he became a billionaire by owning capital.
That's it, Bishop.
Brothers and sisters, we fighting everybody every day until you own some capital.
You own it, man.
Listen, your billionaire, your what they call it, you got so much you can do. God, let's say God give us 3 scores and 10.
That's right.
You can't work hard till you 70.
That's right.
I'm already getting tired.
Yeah.
I need to start making some money in my capital.
That's right.
So while we're fighting, why don't we start investing? Why don't we start sitting down with people and making some real money? So what is capital, Bishop? Capital is anything you own that can make you money.
That can make you money.
Like a house.
Yes, sir.
Get you a house.
That's right.
While we fighting Black history, get you a house. Well, Bishop, I got bad credit score. Get your credit right.
That's right. Plain and simple. They got help out
Quit
there.
charging everything.
That's right. Yeah. Don't live above your means.
Don't live above your means.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Clean your own nails and polish it like you used to do, like Grandma used to do.
That's right. Yeah.
But you go right to the mall and give her Asian sister.
Yeah.
What it costs about? Anybody know? I ain't got my. I know
Depends
y'all.
on what you get.
What?
About 40.
$45, 40 for your hands. How long do it last? 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's $80 a month.
$80 a month. Yeah.
80 times 12.
Come on.
Whatever that is. Put that in 10-year investment.
That's
you got
right.
some money.
You got some money.
But you don't want to do that. You want to have your fingernails looking good, and then talk about the president.
See? See my point? Yeah.
Hey, y'all, I'm not a Republican like my man, but we just talking about being real with life.
And that's really what it is, Bishop. It's just being real with life, man. Because that's really what it boils down to. The Bible is absolutely correct that life is basically what you put into.
Got my man here, Hall of Fame. My man, Hall of Fame is in the house.
Whatsoever a man sow, that shall he also reap.
That's right.
That's it.
Thank you, Hall of Fame. This Hall of Fame. This is my man Mike, Hall of Fame. You can't wish for that. Oh, they can see you, Hall of Fame. Okay, keep going. We talking? Oh, keep talking. Okay.
Yeah,
so look, thank you. So look, y'all.
Thank you.
Let me continue on back to that. So we have buy a home, get some property.
That's right.
We want capital. Maybe get you a patent.
That's right.
That's capital.
That's right.
Patent like the drugs and you know, be there to help people. Your technology, get copyright. You know, you're not going to be a billionaire pulling down on a regular job with those taxes.
Ain't gonna happen.
Did you know that most wealthy people make money like everyone else through labor? But watch this, y'all. The richer you are, the less your income comes from labor, and the more it comes from capital.
That's true. That's the God's honest truth.
See,
That is true.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
You see, it's investments, man.
Yes, sir.
It's investments. And so if we're going to do something, in other words, real quick, money makes money. You know,
That's right.
To turn $100 into $110, that's work. To turn $100 million into $110 million, that's inevitable.
That's right. That's
Because
right.
it can set in the bank.
That's right.
Oh, my. But the reason why we can't put that $100 in there, because we got our bills.
Yeah. So the key thing is get out of debt.
Yeah.
Eliminate debt. Pastor Hess talk about it all the time.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, you got certain TV shows and you got people like, you know, President Donald Trump before he became president. I read the art of the deal. His dad gave him $1 million, and you got what's the girl name? The family, the big family.
Walmart?
The family women. They do.
Kardashian?
The Kardashians.
Yeah.
One of the girls just became a billionaire.
Yeah.
And, you know, she tried to make it like, you know, I did this all by myself. And, but the truth is, if you're born on third base.
That's right.
And you hit a home run,
That's right.
you weren't self-made.
That's right.
She was already ahead of the game just because of who she was.
Yeah.
So, hey, Doc, let's talk real briefly about Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
There was so much said about Kobe Bryant. You know, he was a great basketball player, a philanthropist. He lived a good life, about 41 years. His caliber and his determination, you know, he got the best use of his time.
Yeah.
And I hate that it happened, but let's go back to us. Let's talk about us.
Yeah.
We got to encourage our young people to take advantage of the best use of your time.
I agree.
Okay? He chased his dream, he went hard, and he achieved it. He achieved his goal.
He achieved it, yeah.
And so his legacy and wealth is interesting. And so that's what I do. Pastor Todd, I look at people's wealth, I look at their legacy, where money come from, you know, why rich people has more than other people do. I'm not going to be on the side of blaming.
That's right. Yeah.
Passing the buck.
Right.
I know what time it is. I know who's my enemy. You know, I know who ain't trying to help me. But the truth of the matter is, the folks that's hurting me is not the ones that look like me.
Come on.
And I'm for sure a lot of us can say that. At the end of the day, you know, so we have to ask ourselves. So I was looking at Kobe Bryant. In 2016, after his 20-year career, he was worth $600 million when he died. He was on his way to billionaire status.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
He must have been growing his money. See, that's when we look at the basketball, the hoop.
Right.
Everybody say, well, I want to be a basketball player. No. That could be a good start.
Yeah.
But you want to learn how to grow your money.
That's right.
Back to what I was saying earlier. Why? Because your capital going to get old. Michael
right.
Jordan knew he had to retire soon.
Retire,
Kobe knew he had to They make more money
That's right.
retired
yeah.
than they did playing.
Yeah, I
Look
agree.
at Shaquille O'Neal.
That's right. Yeah, I just watched.
He making more money now.
He sure is. Yes,
and we know Jordan is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you a financial man. How can we put that in the system? What can we do to get our people to understand this?
Bishop, I think you tapped on it. One of the most proven markets is real estate. That's been proven time and time again. But ultimately, I would say look into some mutual funds and stuff like that to get investments in as well. So you gotta hit on all cylinders though. You can't just be a one-trick pony, as they say. You gotta hit on all cylinders. So if you also look at a lot of multi-millionaires and billionaires, look at the show Shark Tank.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You got Mark Cuban, you got Kevin O'Leary and stuff. You got all these people, but they have like 7 to 10 different businesses.
Yes.
And then they got investments and stuff. Because again, it's never enough.
Never enough.
You know what I mean? Especially if you have the formula on how to get more. You know, and the more you have, the more you can also be a blessing to other people.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's kind of like our mindset of being in the kingdom. So I would say hit on all cylinders. Whatever God has put in your heart to do, then by all means do it.
Because something wrong when you can't help people.
That something very, very wrong.
You have dropped and missed a boat somewhere.
That's right.
When you in your 30s and your 40s and your 50s and you still saying, if I had a doc, I would.
That's right.
That's a problem.
That's a problem.
And go ahead.
Bishop, and I'll put it this way, and I'll let you go ahead.
Man, this water good. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
I'll tell you this. It has never been known for a broke man to sign a check.
Well, you don't have to even say that. The Bible says a poor man's wisdom is not heard.
See what I'm saying?
Nobody listens to you poor.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Fat man really can't talk about losing weight.
Yeah.
That's why I can't tell you about losing weight yet. But once I lose this weight, I'll write a book like T.D. Jakes did about how you lose weight. But I got to lose it first.
Right.
And that's it, everything else. So look, everybody understand you are human capital.
That's it.
Yeah, we haven't been here in about a whole month, so I'm excited today, and we'll be back every week, y'all. But I'm glad to have my man co-host with me. I may have to talk to Deacon Jones, and we may have to have all 3 of us on the show. But I would love to have some of you all to join me and be a co-host as a guest. I will give you some of our topics, and just come on the show because dialogue is important. But first of all, you're a human capital. What that means is your labor is human capital.
That's right.
Okay? And the problem with human capital is it depletes.
It depletes.
Okay? I'm in my 50s, y'all.
Yeah.
Soon to be in my 60s.
That's right.
I can't do what I used to do in my 20s.
That's right.
You will be in the same boat. And the greatest example is a banana.
Wow.
Put that banana in your refrigerator.
That's right.
That banana don't last forever. It goes stale.
It goes stale.
Right?
Rotten.
After a week or so, and what that means is your body doesn't last forever.
That's right.
So unless you have some other capital,
That's right.
you're going to run out.
All cylinders.
We dying every day, and we're raising money, or now we're just cremating people because we really don't have the money.
Yeah.
And that's not an attack on anybody. That's just a reality.
That's just the reality. Yeah. It's the cheaper route to go. Yeah.
So I really want us to talk about that. That's really important that we deal with that. We want to talk about being wealth builders. So Todd, I got to talk about Snoop Dogg and Gayle King.
Yeah.
Now, before I give you my take on it, are you familiar with it?
I'm familiar with it. I didn't see the clip, but I'm familiar with his lashing out of Gayle King.
Because you're a Republican, that's more of a Democrat thing?
No,
I'm just messing with you.
I know.
I'm just messing with you. That's my nephew, yeah. Yeah, basically, and I put that in my message today, I actually commend Snoop Dogg that he stepped out there and he defended a dead man. I mean, a lot of y'all ain't gonna defend a live man.
That's right.
Kobe's dead.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And Snoop Dogg put his neck out there when he went against Gayle King. What y'all fail to realize, everybody is connected to somebody.
That's right.
And so when you saw Snoop Dogg doing his normal gyration, y'all gotta understand, come on, this is the same guy that, and everybody have a past. But he was the same guy in a lot of his songs. He was kind of hard on women, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't he at one time in some award bring women on the stage with like a collar? Yeah,
Yeah.
So when you have a past, you got to be careful. That's why a lot of us can't run for office.
That's right.
Because they're going to get real dirty and bring out your past.
That's right.
My point was, I felt Snoop could have said Gayle was wrong without saying those mean words.
Without saying,
Because Gayle was wrong for that. I don't care how you slice it. She had no right to bring that up. Everybody want to talk about is journalism. No one talked about it in 20-some years.
That's right.
She was wrong for bringing it up. But then Snoop, you come out and you start, threatening all that. So then the big boys jumped in it, and he had to apologize. Because if he wasn't careful, his capital.
That's right. Come on.
See, everybody looking at the rapper Snoopy.
Yeah.
And the little braids.
Yeah.
And the old, listen, he's capital.
Yeah.
He doing what Cheetos commercials.
Yeah, doing all that.
He doing all phone commercials.
Yeah, he's got football league.
Football leagues.
Yeah. For youth.
For youth.
Yeah.
Do you know that he could have lost that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, let's not get caught up in the emotions.
That's right.
And let's just deal with it. So he made the right decision. He apologized. But at the end of the day, I'm going to say this, and I said this on Sunday morning today. I feel that Kobe never raped anybody, okay? There was no evidence that he ever did. And if anything, he was a victim of somebody who was trying to get a payday and take from his family. And you know what? At the end of the day, y'all, it happens every single day.
Every day. Yes, sir.
But we tend to want to believe in somebody else. And so at the end of the day, it shouldn't have happened. Gayle probably shouldn't have said what she said, but it's over. Let's move on. Let's move on. So Todd, where you see the Donald Trump, you mentioned that you feel that he'll win.
Yeah.
Not as a officer, but you really feel he'll win?
Absolutely.
With all this turmoil, you think he'll win?
Yeah, I think he'll win. Absolutely. And the reason being, the reason why I say that is because you have more of a track record of success in such a short period of time. And so as a result of that, even though there are people that are coming out, and see, I've been in this thing for over 16 years. And so what people are saying in public, they're not saying in private. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so the deal is that even though people are still caught up in their emotions and they're feeling some kind of way, but at the end of the day, it was about policy. Yeah. And I think that's why he's going to win, because people are noticing that, record low unemployment and all these other great things that have happened in this country. People are seeing some success somewhere, man. And so basically, how do you argue with that? You know what I mean? And so I think he's going to win. And obviously, individuals on the left, they don't really have a viable candidate to really refute it.
Well, let me ask you this. I preached a sermon today, and I know you are a scholar of the word. I came from the story of Moses. And I shared with the congregation that, and by the way, my congregation has just went down.
Wow.
Folks don't even know how to come to church anymore. I think they're mad at me.
Really?
Yeah, emotional.
Emotion.
All the good that we were trying to do. Did y'all boycott me or what?
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Where's the spirit at?
See, wait. You know they want to fight everybody. What's going on?
Yeah.
I was at the store one day, and somebody said to me, they said, Bishop, you got to show up. Where you been? I'm like, where you been?
Right.
I'm at church every Sunday and Bible class every Wednesday. You want to see me? You come on a Wednesday or a Sunday.
Or Sunday, yeah. That's where you find me.
That's where you find me.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering. So if you can find out what's going on, man, let me know what's going on. But back to Moses. Back to Moses. He was educated in Egypt.
Mm-hmm. That's
and I use the analogy, Todd, that one day he saw an Egyptian slew a Hebrew.
A Hebrew. That's right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And in that story, he was torn in between.
That's right.
He was dressed like an Egyptian.
That's right.
He was raised like an Egyptian.
That's right.
But inside of him, he was a Hebrew.
Yes, sir.
So he lashed out and killed the Egyptian.
That's right.
The very next day.
Mm-hmm. That's
now
right.
watch this, Todd. Mm-hmm. The very next day, I feel like a Baptist preacher. The very next day, he saw two Hebrews fighting.
That's right.
And he tried to stop them.
That's right.
And they looked at him and said, what, you gonna kill us too? Isn't it ironically that the people that you try to help somehow turn it back on you?
Happens.
What is that all about?
You know, happened to Jesus as well. With Judas, obviously, where he said that, Judas, you would betray me even with a kiss?
My man.
Isn't that something? So it happens all the time. I mean, you know, it happens all the time.
That's what I'm talking about. So that's why he gonna get the award. My man.
It happens all the time. It's internal, man.
It's internal.
It's internal, man. People have flaws.
Thank you, sir.
And so they, even though we like to become masters of pointing out other people's flaws and stuff like that, but yet when we look introspectively, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hold on, wait a minute. You know, first remove the plank out of one's own eye before, so you can see clearly. Then you can go and correct your brother, your sister. You know.
You being an educator, how much time I got you guys? 10 minutes. You being an educator. I don't know if you paid attention, but I've been doing some research, and I don't know what's going on with the institution of learning. Again, I share this with the congregation today. You know, this whole thing about acquiring basic and objectives and knowledge, maybe some critical thinking thrown in.
Yeah.
But in these days, it seems critical hasn't helped, and it appears that they're starting to ditch thinking. They don't want us to think.
They don't want you to think. Yeah,
the English, the science, the reading, the history, the literature, the geography, the mathematics appear to have taken back seats to politics and to social engineering and Quattro and all those things. Well, did you know that in Madison, Wisconsin, that's not far from here?
It ain't far from here, man.
That's Midwest, right?
Yes, sir. Across the lake.
The school district. At least the kids don't get an F.
Oh, my.
They don't get an F in whatever it is. This is what they get, Doc. They get what you call a EX, a M, a DV, or a E. A E stands for exceeding, meaning students consistently exceeds grade level expectations for the end of the year.
And the M is met expectation?
M is meeting.
Meeting, okay.
Students consistently meet grade level expectations for the end of the year. D is developing.
Gotcha.
Student is developing understanding and is approaching grade level expectations for the end of the year. And E is emerging. Students begin to show initial understanding of grade level expectation for the end of the year. Well, let me tell you something, brothers. If you go to work and you call in 3 times, they're not going to give you no E. Talking about you're consistently excelling, and I'm going to let you come back to work. You're fired.
You're fired. Period. Period, point blank. They set them up to fail, Doc.
Yeah, they setting you up to fail,
man.
And Doc, I don't know what legislation that is. I don't know if that's Democrats, Republicans, but at the end of the day, that is foolish.
Absolutely foolish. And they're setting them up to fail. That's, again, why I say policy over personality. You can't get caught up in the personality. Let's dig down deep to the policy to see exactly. Because that's what becomes law, and that's what sticks.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Personality going to be out the White House in 5 years.
Yes.
But that policy is going to still be there.
Yes, sir.
That's what shapes and forms the way we live.
And we got to learn that.
You got to learn that.
Personality going to be gone.
It's going to be gone, man.
Donald Trump personality, Bill Clinton personality, Barack Obama personality, Gerald Ford personality, Richard Nixon personality, Carter personality, FDR, they're gone.
They're gone.
But policy.
Policy, Doc. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, Doc, I got about 10 minutes, right? 5 minutes? I was talking about friends today.
Oh, okay.
What'd I say? 7 minutes. I talked about a confidant.
Okay.
And then I talked about what they were. And then I moved on, Doc, and I talked about friends that we call, and you being in politics and me once, it called constituents.
Uh-huh. That's right.
And the constituents, as long as you are for what they're for, they walk with you.
That's right.
They walk with you and they labor with you,
Right.
but never think they're for you.
That's true.
You got constituents like that.
That's
You
right.
got, as long as you
Yeah.
doing something that they're for, they got your back.
That's right.
But be careful with your constituency, because someone do something better, they'll leave you and go somewhere else. And then I talked about the other friend we learned in the military is called your comrade.
That's right.
They're not really for you. They're not really on your side, but they like the cause that you stand for. So they may march with you,
That's right.
but they ain't care nothing about you.
Yeah.
But what you want to have, and that's our prayer, that you have a few people that become your confidant. That they're going to love you for
Yeah.
who you are.
That's right.
They're going to love you when you're down.
That's right.
They're going to love you when you're up.
Yeah.
They're going to love you when you're sad. They're going to love you when you're not sad.
Gotcha.
And when you make mistakes, they're going to love you. And when you're up, celebrate. So this is what I tell everybody. And I tell the saints. And I want all y'all that's watching me, listen, next time you get blessed, next time you get something from whatever on your job, and you tell your friends, pay attention to how they respond to you. If they don't show them no emotions, they ain't your friend, they're a hater.
They ain't big time.
Because the Bible says rejoice.
Yes, sir. Within that rejoice.
Within that rejoice.
That's right.
That's why, Todd, I'm proud of you,
I appreciate it.
Orchard Park.
Yeah.
I pray to God that you get to the White House.
Yes, sir.
And all them haters, we're gonna love them somehow. But I know I'm going to come to the White House and shake your hand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'll give me a lapel pin, a flag.
Yeah.
Because from you came from nowhere to somewhere. And
Yeah.
so stay encouraged.
I appreciate it.
I know the great work that you did at the Community Action Agency. I know you're going to probably be doing something different. I just encourage you and your wife to keep doing what y'all doing.
Appreciate
and
it.
I have great respect for the work you're doing. You've been a supporter of me. You've been a supporter of the ministry. And I just thank God for you. So Todd,
appreciate it.
I salute you 100%. And I want everybody to know I support him. And I'm grateful for him for all that he's doing. I believe our time is up, but I do want y'all to know those friends are like scaffolds. They're 5 minutes. Those friends are like scaffolds. A scaffold is temporarily there to get something done.
That's true.
And then when you get done putting up the big lights, that scaffold's gone.
It's gone.
But your building's still put up.
That's right.
So there are friends in your life that's like a scaffold. They won't be there forever. Know your friends and be careful who you share your vision with. Because if you're not careful,
That's true.
they'll take your vision and go somewhere else. So you don't have to don't let everybody know what your game plan is.
Gotcha.
Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
true friends is going to have your back.
Yes, sir.
The rest of them will go talk about you.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc, this was a great show, man. Anything you want to say to us? We got about 3 minutes. Say whatever you want to say, man. You want to campaign, I don't care. Say whatever you want to say. Just go for
Just
it.
a reminder that as a people, man, I think what's really important is, again, we have to be more concerned about policy over personality, because, again, it's the policy that sticks and the personality leaves in a short period of time.
Yeah.
So stay encouraged, Doc. We love you, man. You know, we'll support you, my wife and I, my family and I. We believe that everything that God is doing in the ministry, man, and any way that we can continue to be a blessing, let us know.
Man, I thank you for that. Hey, y'all, it was great being back. Thank you. Deacon Jones will be back with us next week. And again, we're going to try to figure out how to get Dr. Todd as one of the co-hosts. I love him on the show. Listen, if you'd like to come on the show, let us know. Let the staff know. Contact the church. You are more than welcome. I know you got something good to say. I always end by acknowledging my ancestors. Haven't done that in a while, but my ancestors, thank God for Edward West Smith. That's where I got my name from. That's my grandfather on my father's side. And Gussie Smith. That's my mother. That's my father, mother. And of course, my father, the great late Hugh Smith. I was sharing this with a friend of mine, and I told my daughter, I said, you know, I miss my dad. Somebody say, what you do when you miss your dad? Sometimes I just think about what he'd do right now.
Yeah.
So I'll go, too cold to go to the cemetery, but I may drive and say, Dad, guess what they doing to me? And he'll say, son, don't worry about it. And I just smile. So I miss him all the time, and I thank God for him. Also, on my mother's side, Ruby Elizabeth Perry and Leo Del Perry Sr. And of course, my mom is still here, and I thank God for her. Yeah. She exceeded the 7 scores and 10, and I thank God for her loyalty. She's definitely a confidant. She tell me how she feel, but she's in my corner, and I love her dearly. And also my uncle, Pastor Perry, has been with me during the transition, and I thank God for him. Hey, Doc, let's have prayer before we go. Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you for this service. We thank you for the show. We thank you for Pastor Terrence Todd, and we thank you for his wonderful wife, Sister Tara.
Karen.
What is it?
Karen.
Karen, I said it right. All right. Bless her. Bless her for the work that she's doing down in the state of Michigan with Senator Bison. Thank you for Karen in a special way. Now, God bless his daughters at Michigan State and the other children at other colleges and high school. Just bless his life. Bless his life so much that when people see him, all they see is, I don't care what y'all say, that's a man of God, and God is blessing him. Bless our city, bless our mayor, bless our city manager, bless all those that's involved in leadership, the chief of police, bless all the local pastors, the social service agency, family and friend. Thank you, AccessVision. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Oh, wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen.